Joy and I live in southeast Colorado. We've been there for 46 years and we have an operation called Beatty Canyon Ranch. It's comprised of she and I, plus our daughter and son-in-law and their 3 children. We're a cow-calf operation that's Red Angus based in a really rough, remote region of southeast Colorado in the Purgatory River Canyon. You normally don't expect to see deep, gouging canyons in the plains of Colorado, but it's a unique structure there. But it's wonderful cow-calf country. It has an incredible amount of protection for winter storms, things like that, but at the same time it's got enough upland in it that we can really put pounds on calves. We market steers in the fall, about 210 days of age, and then carry over our heifers and develop them for a replacement quality heifer program. The U.S. Roundtable for Sustainable Beef had its initial discussion for enactment in 2015. And I attended as a liaison for Colorado Cattlemen's Association and listened to the philosophy of why the industry might need a roundtable of sustainability. And the more I listened, the more I felt like this is an issue of our times. We'd already started hearing about sustainable sourcing by groups like Chipotle and others that were making these statements, but with no definition around it. And I felt like the beef industry is for once being proactive in taking on an issue. And so Colorado Cattlemen's joined as a founding member. The next year we put Beatty Canyon Ranch in. I became active in the committees and worked with the organization and as well as 150 other people to build out key indicators, metrics, and then toolboxes called a framework that helps throughout the supply chain, whether you're a cow-calf producer or a retailer, what are the terms and what are the manner in which you achieve sustainability or improve sustainability of the beef supply chain. Today, here in Charleston, South Carolina, we announced the goals, which are where we believe the beef industry supply chain within the roundtable is going to go to meet the issues. And those issues are greenhouse gas emissions, land resources, water resources, employee safety and well-being, animal health, and then efficiency and yield, which is really that key part of a sustainability model that is the social and economic side. Today, the consumer is signaling to us, we love the product. We enjoy it at center of the plate at home. We enjoy it when we go out to fine dining. But we have some things that we're aware of, whether it's by information in social media or their own research. They've become aware that there's an environmental issue, and they want to be assured that beef production is good for the environment, that it's no worse than 3% of all greenhouse gas emissions, but the industry's working to get better at that. That it's using its water wisely, both in quality and quantity, and that you're taking care of workers and that you're taking care of the environment in your production systems. And that's what we've stood up, is the ability to be transparent and show through the industry to the consumer. What the U.S. Roundtable is trying to do is combine all those stories together into a cohesive statement that goes forward. What you're doing out there, the fact that you're multi-generational, indicates that you have longevity. But sustainability is about how have you figured out to graze cattle in a different environment as the Northwest to Southeast Colorado to here in Carolinas. We looked at some great beef operations yesterday on our tour. Everything is so different. And to tell that story, we need the engagement of individuals to share the success that you've had. And it's really outstanding that NCBA set their goals for climate neutrality and the Roundtable has set their goals for climate neutrality, and we've outlined how we're going to get there. And so that staff in Washington, D.C. can take this into the legislative body and to the lobbyists and say, You don't need to regulate the industry. The industry has stood up and self-regulated itself and set its own climate goals going forward, but they're goals that are relevant to the production practices and the needs of the industry and that aspect of continuous improvement. So we really believe that when we stood up and did that, we got the support from the producers that they are working for us. Drought has been with us, like you and I were talking, since 1997, more or less. So we're well into what some of the meteorologists expect to be a 40-year cycle. But it's the most challenging aspect. I like to say that we have a great grazing management plan. We work hard at our grazing management plan, but really the good Lord can make us look like wonderful, or He can make us look pretty tough. And yet, when you have a plan in place for what you're going to do given whatever happens with precipitation, whatever happens with rate of growth of plants, whatever happens with your cattle, when you have a plan in mind or on paper, you avoid drastic decisions that are difficult to maintain the business. And that's an aspect of sustainability, is trying to work with all the tools that are available out there so that you have a plan that lets you be proactive and make decisions ahead of crisis. I firmly believe that within the beef industry, we're going to be able to show that we're actually a beneficiary to improving greenhouse gas emissions, overall emissions. The one that does make it difficult for me to feel like we've got everything in balance and there's nothing that can tip us is that efficiency and yield side. Because there's so many outside influences in our markets that affect profitability. And so we may achieve success with greenhouse gas emissions and achieve success with water and reduce total injury rates to our workers. But outside influences out of our control can be that one factor that takes that profitability desire away from us. No matter how much work we do for markets, how much more we improve the genetics of our cattle and the efficiencies in our feed yards, we can have an event. As we all know, Chernobyl and other events took the markets and took them away from us. So those are the outside factors that I wonder, how can we be proactive to build resilience so if an event occurs, we don't have crisis in the markets.